Alright guys, I got a really terrifying story today. Do you know who Christopher Case is? Because if you don't, you're about to learn. And you're about to listen to his final voicemail. So I'm just giving you a warning on that. He was a music executive and a super superstitious guy. He didn't believe in paranormal stuff. But one day, he goes to a restaurant with his friends. And it was there that Chris met this lady. She was older than him, and she took very strong interest in him. Chris loved ancient Egyptian music, and so did she. And by the time they were done eating, she was like, "You should come home with me." Chris, on the other hand, was like, "Nah, I'm gonna have to pass on that." And then her personality completely changed. Her eyes filled with hatred, and she said,
"I am a witch, and I am going to curse you. You are going to die within the week."
Chris is like, Okay, I think I'm gonna leave. When Chris got home, things felt completely strange. He could feel the presence of something watching him, and he would see a shadow in the corner of his eye, but he turned to look, and nothing would be there. As he was laying in bed, he kept hearing whispering, so he'd stand up, walk through his rooms, and nothing would be there. Keep in mind, he lives at home by himself. So at this point, he's like, "I need to call someone." So he calls his friend Sammy.
I wish there was some way that people could hear what I heard in his voice and what he said. It was a living hell. He would try to sleep, but he had gotten to the point that he was not asleep.
As the next day rolled around and Chris had not slept for 1 second, he goes into a store that sells religious items, and he just grabs a ton of crosses and asks if they've been blessed with holy water.
Asked where the crosses were, and I saw him collect quite a few in his hands. So I asked him what he was going to be using them for, and he mentioned at that time that he was battling some supernatural forces.
And then he buys books on spells and religion. He buys pounds of salt. Then he arrives back home petrified, but hoping that he can make some sort of impact. As he laid down that night, he just blocked out the whispering, hoping to fall asleep. And as soon as he did, he woke back up paralyzed. And standing over him was a huge figure. It leaned over and grabbed his neck. It stared him in the eyes and began to choke him. He was fighting to breathe, and it picked him up, stared into his soul, and threw him back onto the bed. He shot up, hoping it was just a dream. But as he felt his neck, it was extremely tender. And he looked down at his bed, and it was completely covered in blood. Every single one of his fingertips had a deep cut. The next day, he called Sammy and left her a voicemail. And you are about to listen to it. The scariest part about this voicemail is his tone. At this point, he has gone from petrified to accepting his fate. You can tell that he is expecting to die, and he has pretty much given up. Here is his last voicemail.
"Hi, Sammy. This is Christopher. Well, they just about got me. You know, they are trying to kill me. So whatever it is I do to defend myself doesn't work anymore. Is what it's coming down to. I'm not looking forward to tonight. It's serious. It's very serious. My life."
The next day, Sammy called the police. They came over and they found Chris. He was in the bathtub, laying in a praying position, dead. He was surrounded by candles and crosses and salt. And he had died of natural causes. His heart just stopped. All around his houses were these notes everywhere, and hundreds of crosses. When Christopher's family heard that he had died of natural causes, they were like, "No. Something happened, and we can tell now that it has to do with that witch." Although the mystery has never been solved.